Alright, let's start learning the basics of what you need to know in order to start programming. We'll start with integers and floating point numbers. Integers are just numbers like 4, but floating point numbers have a decimal place added to them, like 4.0, in order to make it more precise and accurate. The hashtag or pound symbol is used for commenting, it's just for the user. And the print statement prints out whatever is in the parentheses following the print statement. The parentheses aren't always necessary, but sometimes some programs will be picky and require you to use parentheses. Let's talk about the 5 operators when using numbers. There's technically 5. The 5th one I'm not going to talk about. It's called a Modulus Operator, and it's used to find the remainder of 2 numbers, but right now we'll just talk about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Practice commenting by writing a comment at the top. I'll just do hashtag counting. You'll also want to define your function, so put def main parentheses colon and then call it at the end with main parentheses. We'll set a variable x equal to 3 times 4. And then print out x, and the output will be 12. But if you put 0.0 after the 3 and the 4, it will change it to floating point numbers, and the output will now be 12.0, another floating point number. Moving on to variables. Variables are just a box that you can put stuff in. You can use variables to store all kinds of stuff like Boolean values or strings, but right now we're just talking about numbers. Variables aren't always necessary though. You can put print 3 plus 4 and it will do the same thing as if you did x equals 3 plus 4. You're just skipping the variable step. One last thing that you need to remember when saving Python files. I'm just setting up an example code, but when you save it you need to put the name and then .py at the end. So I'm going to name it Python and then put .py to save it as a Python file, so your program will run properly.